Hi, I'm Antonio Centeno, the founder of Real Men, Real Style. Today, we're going to be talking about correcting the style mistakes of other men. Should you or should you not do this? Okay. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. By doing that, these videos will come right to you. In addition, if you like this, if you find it useful, I would appreciate it if you would like it right down there below. And make sure to grab our free 47-page ebook on men's style. It comes as a PDF, delivered right to your email, and then you're on my awesome email list, which send out some helpful tips every single week. All right. This is the question that came in. Antonio, I often see other men with their ties crooked or with even their top button exposed. Should I go up to them and correct them? Is it all right to do this? So, pretty simple question, and something I think a lot of men who start along their style journey look around and they see a lot of style mistakes. It's one of those things that I own a Chevy pickup truck. I notice everybody who has a Chevy pickup truck, especially my year and my model. It's just something, once you have it, you start to notice it. And it's the same with style. Once you start to know the certain little bits of rules, the things that will make a man look better, you start to look at other men a bit more critically, and women. Well, I've always looked at women, but no, really you start to look at those little details and you start to pick up on them. And you start noticing that most men make a lot of style mistakes. So this gentleman, he's looking at these guys and they're exposing the top button quite a bit. They're maybe even not buttoning that button, or they're wearing their tie crooked, maybe not even the right knot for the collar type. I mean, there are so many mistakes out there that guys are making. And do you have, should you go up and correct them? And my answer is no. And let me tell you a story about this. A good friend of mine, Glenn Palmer, over at the Gentleman's Standard, he actually wrote an entire blog post. And he talked about how he was in an event, and it's his style. He likes to wear, what is it? He's got it's a tie clip. He likes to wear a little bit to the side, just a little bit off. That's something he likes to do. And he was talking with a group of gentlemen, and a guy comes up and just adjusts it, and right in front of other people, and he was embarrassed. Now, Glenn probably doesn't remember anything that guy said that night, but what he does remember and what he will hold against that person is how he made him feel. It's belittling, it's embarrassing, especially if done wrong, and it's not something I think a man should be jumping in there and correcting, because it's going to really defeat the purpose. You want to help this person improve, but you don't do that by, again, embarrassing them in front of their peers. So that's my first thing. And also, you don't know if they even know the rule, but perhaps they're breaking it. Perhaps it's something that they're wanting, that's something that they enjoy. It reminds them of something. There's a reason for it. You don't know. So, that would be my first thing I'm going to throw out there. And if you start to do this, and there are ways to do it. I understand that some of you guys are managers. Some of you want your team to be looking better. So let me give you a few tips on how, if you want men to change and improve their style, that you can do this. The first example is to set the example. For you to look at yourself and to make sure that you are well put together. So one thing I learned in the Marine Corps is you lead by example. You be the first person to, no one can find anything wrong with the way you dress. And in fact, people compliment you. People are starting to come to you for advice, because they will. People are looking for leaders. There's a lack of leaders out there, and you need to lead by example, not be looking for the style mistakes of others. Also, you can make this kind of a game. So if you've got a team that you're managing, or you're looking to improve the look of the people, the other lawyers that you work with, the bankers that you work with, perhaps bring in a book. There are a lot of them out there, about maybe 100 different ways to tie a tie. Kind of leave it out there on your desk. And, if you've got, there are those break times, and say, hey, let's try a different knot today. And it sounds kind of silly, but it's kind of challenging. It's like, hey, can you wear a different knot every day of the week? Or if you guys can guess my knot, you get the Friday afternoon off. And it becomes, people love games. No matter how silly they are, if it's a genuine game and if it's something that will really, improve their appearance, go for it. there's also you need to talk about why this is important, but don't talk about why they need to. Talk about why it's important for you and why you do what you do. So let's say you're about to go give a presentation and your team's about ready, and instead of cramming up to the minute you're running in there, and 5 minutes early, say, okay, guys, we're going to take a break now. Let's compose ourselves. And what do you guys think? Is my tie look good? Is everything square? And explain, yeah, I was just reading a study that, 70% of, you can bring up the, what was it, the Meridian, although that's not entirely accurate, but, the whole thing that, 70% of communication is nonverbal, or whatever that study said. But you bring up something like that, and everyone all of a sudden says, oh, well, how do I look? Do I have anything in my teeth? And people all start checking themselves. And maybe after the meeting, they'll come up and talk to you about, well, where did you get that information? Or where can I get a jacket like you were wearing? Or what about, my shoes? People will come to you for advice. And that's what you want to do. You want to attract them coming to you for those style corrections, not you pointing them out. The only time I can think of in which you should point out if a man has style mistakes is if you're getting paid or you've been asked. And that's a great place to be, especially the getting paid thing. But no, really, I talk with so many men who contact me, and they find once they have themselves put together that the other men in their office are coming to them for advice. They're maybe being a bit sly about it. They're not, openly telling their guys or even, the other guys or their wives, but it is something that men care about. The way they look, for most guys, it's a big mystery. But when they see you being a leader, they're going to come to you for advice. All right, that is how you help other men around you dress better. And again, be careful. You don't want to make people feel bad. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.